actually, the Ori were awesome, and SG1 Series 9 and 10 were brilliant, and here's why. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So Matt did a video on Tuesday telling you why the Ori are stupid, but I'm here to tell you that he is wrong. And in no small part because immediately at the start of his video he said protagonist instead of antagonist. What an idiot. Who would make that error? New Stargate series. I think I know the perfect protagonist. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. Okay. Being forgotten about as quickly as humanly possible, I'm here to tell you why actually the Ori were a great villain and why those two series were brilliant SG1. For a start, I was actually really concerned when O'Neill left. No more Richard Dean Anderson as Stargate, sacrilege. But Beau Bridges came in as the General, and we had Ben Browder as Mitchell, and they were both really, really good characters.
Other than it seems to have a rather interesting, if somewhat limited, gene pool.
Straight out of the box, let's get into a lot of what Matt said about why the Ori were kind of stupid. There were a lot of reasons why the Ori character didn't really make sense. Like Matt said, we never really saw them other than when Adria finally ascended at the end and she returned as a fully fledged Ori with all of their power. We didn't actually see them other than to see a big wall of flames. They always talked through their priors. Now, I always thought actually the priors were pretty cool. I loved the makeup. I loved the episode. And we're going to talk a bit more about the episodes a bit later, but the episode where Daniel became a prior was just great.
Gotta tell you though, not your look. Oh, it is just temporary. Really?
He talked about how, though, that didn't really make sense, and that how this whole point about the origin and the religion, and how that the Ori was sort of like powered by the belief, that it was only by the belief of the people in that galaxy that sort of allowed them and like fed them. Well, I've always wondered if that was more of a metaphor than literal, but even if it was literal, we don't know how this works. We're talking about space magic, there's no reason to know that how that works or why that would work. But one of the points Matt did make that I completely disagree with was that after we sort of met the Ori, they didn't detect it, they didn't understand the stones, the Ori didn't know, even though they were supposed to be all powerful. Well, I'd argue that I'm not sure the Ori were all powerful, and I've got a couple of reasons why. For one, we know that the ancients shielded us from the Ori. So the Ori caused the Great Plague that wiped us out. The ancients then reseeded humanity and reseeded life in the Milky Way and then the Pegasus galaxy. They then shielded us from the Ori. I would actually argue that we don't know fully what happened there, but I actually wonder whether, more than that we were being shielded from the Ori, were the Ori fenced in. So the ancients were believed to have unlimited power, but they never really wanted to interfere with us lower life forms. That was kind of their philosophy. But we never really got to understand that in any detail, even though Series 9 and 10 of Stargate SG1 we did get to see a lot more about the ancients. I really did appreciate that. There's lots of things about the philosophy. There's things like the Four Horsemen episodes where we found out about origin and the Great Plague that taught us a lot more about the ancients. But we still don't really understand why they don't interfere. We don't really understand their power or their knowledge, as it were. We don't really understand how the ancients work, so we can't understand how the Ori work either. So when Daniel and Vala appeared using the stone technology, and then the Ori didn't detect them straight away, we don't know that the ancients would have done either. But, as I said, we don't know that the Ori weren't actually fenced in by the ancients rather than us just being shielded, because it would, I think, suggest, and there's evidence to suggest, that actually the Ori had stagnated quite a lot. Two really good examples of this is the technology they use. So, the Supergate. Now, the Supergate was freaking awesome, but we were able to disable it reasonably easily. We were able to disable the powers of the priors relatively quickly. If you think about this as a completely new technology, a completely new enemy, within a year of meeting them, we were able to find a way to disable the Ori technology using that little disc thing that they planted. The Ori were then never able to actually counter that. They never were able to get their priors sort of up and running again.
If we're going to hell, then you're coming with us. You go ahead and burst into flames if you like.
Another thing is their staff weapon. It's very similar to Goa'uld technology. It doesn't seem to be much more advanced. So again, even the starships that they then built, the gate ships, they were incredibly powerful when we first came across them, but it was a new weapon and new technology. The Asgard, who, yes, were very, very powerful and very advanced, were able to come up with a weapon system that could be mounted on the Daedalus that was then able to defeat not just one Ori ship in straight combat, but multiple ships. I'm not sure the Ori were actually as all-knowing, all-powerful as they led us to believe. But there was a lot more than just the Ori in Series 9 and 10 of Stargate SG1. Some of the other storylines I really enjoyed was sort of like the development of the Jaffa Nation. I mean, I know then got into the Priors. The Priors actually visited the Jaffa and tried to make them their allies and tried to bring them into the Ori. But more importantly, we did get to see a lot of that infighting that happened, the politics of Stargate, which I always really enjoyed, and a development of a new nation. And not a sweet, happy, rosy one like we probably would have seen in Stargate, but a warts and all version of what something like this would actually look like if it happened. But the main reason why Stargate SG1 Series 9 and 10 were brilliant was the characters. I've already mentioned Beau Bridges, I've already mentioned Ben Browder, but really the character that I loved the most was Vala. Claudia Black's version of Vala was just great. There are so many funny bits in this series. Her relationship with Daniel in particular was just gold all the way through.
You didn't know?
Well, I knew it would make you sick. I didn't know it would have the same effect on me, too.
How could you not know?
Because the person that I stole it from didn't tell me that part. Ah!
She was a fantastic character. She's kind of sexy. But she also brought something cheeky and new to the series, which we hadn't really seen. In lots of ways, I always thought she sort of replaced O'Neill, really, if there was a straight-up replacement, for her humour, her cheekiness, and just the way she developed that character over the 2 seasons. And obviously then we've got Adria.
You're doing something new with your eyes.
Now, Morena is one of my favourite actresses. I think she's absolutely great. I think she's stunning. She was brilliant in Firefly. I loved her in that. When she came over to Stargate SG1, I was very excited. Maybe I shouldn't use that word, but I just thought she's a brilliant actress, and she was just great in this series. She played it vulnerable at times, but also terrifying in others. Her relationship with Vala, her mom, was just gold at times. And then when we go into, after the series, into the TV movie, that again showed a real dark side of her. But Morena's acting chops when she died at the end of Series 10 was actually generally heartwarming as well. So this is an actress that really did have everything. And one other character that returned for SG1 Season 9 and 10, and actually was in several episodes, Baal. Cliff Simon's acting as the character Baal was, again, just great. As particularly when we started seeing the genetic copies of him and their relation. Oh, it was fantastic. So for all of those reasons, if you don't like the Ori, fine. They don't necessarily make sense in lots of ways, but lots of sci-fi villains don't make sense. If you actually think about it, the Goa'uld don't make sense. A snake, a massive snake, goes into the back of your head and wraps around your neck and doesn't kill you instantly. Does anyone know that the spine is there where they go in? So that doesn't make sense. There's lots of things about it. Darth Vader and space wizardry in Star Wars doesn't make sense. You know, there's lots of examples of this that you can nitpick and take apart if you want to, but it takes away from the joy of the series. And in this case, the series was just as good for me as anything else Stargate ever created. And I personally thought the Ori were awesome. So guys, get into the comments, tell me exactly what you think. Were the Ori awesome or stupid? I'd love to know exactly what you think. And at the end of the day, who was right, me or Matt? If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. It really, really does help us out. And if you enjoy the content, please consider becoming a fully fledged SciTrekker. You can hit the join button now. As always guys, please stay safe. I'll see you next time.